The gnarled branches of ancient oaks scraped against the sky, their skeletal fingers clawing at the waning light. A cold wind carrying the scent of damp earth and something else, something unnameable, whipped through the forest. Elias, a seasoned woodsman, shivered not from the cold, but from a creeping unease that had settled in his gut like a lead weight. He'd been tracking a rare white stag for days, its ghostly form glimpsed through the dense foliage. The hunt had become an obsession, a lure into the heart of the woods, a place where even the bravest men lost their way. Now, the forest felt different, alive with a silent tension that crackled in the air. He stopped, his hand instinctively reaching for the worn hunting knife at his belt. The forest, usually a symphony of rustling leaves and chirping birds, was eerily quiet. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath, waiting. Then, a low guttural growl, echoed through the trees, sending chills down Elias's spine. He strained his ears, trying to pinpoint the source. The growl came again, closer this time, followed by a scraping sound, like claws dragging on bark. Panic clawed at his throat. He knew the stories, the whispers of creatures that dwelled in the deepest shadows of the forest, creatures that preyed on the lost and the foolish. His heart pounding in his chest, Elias started to run, his footsteps echoing through the silent woods. He ran blindly, the trees blaring into a dark, menacing wall. He could feel the creature's presence behind him, a cold, predatory gaze that burned into his back. The forest seemed to twist and turn, the path he'd been following vanishing into the thick undergrowth. He stumbled, falling to his knees, his lungs burning with exertion. He could hear the creature's growl, closer now. A predator closing in on its prey. He scrambled to his feet, fear lending him a burst of adrenaline. He ran again, his legs screaming in protest. While the creature was faster, he could feel its presence, a wave of cold air that washed over him, carrying the stench of decay and something else, something primal and ancient. He stumbled upon a small clearing, a patch of moonlight illuminating a weathered stone altar. He stumbled towards it, seeking refuge, but the creature was already there, its form emerging from the shadows. A grotesque parody of a man with eyes that glowed like embers and fangs that dripped with an unnatural ichor. Elias screamed, a primal cry of fear, but the creature's voice, a raspy whisper that seemed to come from the earth itself, drowned him out. The creature lunged, its claws outstretched, and Elias closed his eyes, accepting his fate. But the attack never came. He opened his eyes to find the creature frozen, his eyes fixed on something behind him. He turned slowly, his heart pounding in his chest. Standing in the moonlight, its white coat shimmering like a ghost, was the stag he had been hunting. Its eyes, deep and intelligent, met his, and a sense of peace washed over him. The creature, its gaze locked on the stag, let out a guttural cry of rage and fear. It turned and fled, disappearing into the shadows as quickly as it had appeared. Elias, his body trembling with adrenaline, stood there, watching the stag as it turned and walked slowly away, disappearing into the depths of the forest. He never saw it again, but the memory of its ghostly form, the creature's fear, and the sense of peace that had washed over him stayed with him long after he had left the woods. He never went back. The forest, once a place of solace and beauty, had become a place of nightmares, a place where the shadows held secrets best left undisturbed. He knew, with a certainty that chilled him to the bone, that he had been given a second chance, a chance that came with a price, the knowledge that some things are better left unseen, and that the forest holds secrets that are best left buried in the dark.